Adventure time, yeah. Just Jake the dog and Finn the human, lover and adventure time. Okay, hold on. Adventure time brings me way back. Way back when. That's a cactus. But it looks cute. Hold on, give me a sec. Hey guys, welcome back to my Minecraft Let's Play. There's a bunny behind me. Control C, blah 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 blah. Alright. Alright, now we go. No kind of cheese it is.
Oi!
Hey, what?
Why are you playing the demo of Adventure Time?
Cause I want to. Kinda what is this, Spirit? Yeah. Oh, remaking my Minecraft house. My first ever Minecraft house, 6 years later. So you gotta know this kid's at least 7. It is a very intense texture pack. But is it intenser than intense cheese?
This is a screenshot taken on December 23rd, 2010, nearly 6 years ago. It's the first house that I ever made in Minecraft. It's amazing to see how far I've come. Who would have known that in 6 years' time I'd be selling plushies of my own head? Buy my merch. But you can't really
Nathan,
tell
today is
what
December
it looked
1st.
like just from this screenshot. Fortunately, I remember exactly what it looked like, and I'm going to remake this in beta 1.1. However, that was Minecraft before creative, before a lot of things. So I had to actually go through survival. I had to kill pigs, I had to chop trees, I had to go mining, and most of all, I had to die a lot. I got exploded by creepers, which, by the way, made absolutely no sound. Honestly, you guys should play the beta version of Minecraft. It is a completely different game to what we're used to now. If only just for the experience. It's actually quite a lot of fun. So anyway, I made my house, and I'll give you a little tour around it before I remake this exact house, but in the way I would do it today. This building, I remember distinctly, was supposed to
You
be
play
just
with
a
balls like
workshop,
it's FIFA.
but it ended up being my actual living quarters. I had a farm over here, and then the other building was meant to be a lighthouse. Because I died so often, I needed to find where my base was. There was coordinates, but I don't think I knew that at the time, so having a big lighthouse was a really big help. But I would make this way, way differently, so let's go into that. I needed to find an area that was very suitable, but kind of matched what I had back then. The terrain is so much different now, it was very hard to find an area, but this will do in a pinch. I think this roughly equates to what I was after. It certainly got the water around it, which is one of the main features. So I started off by remaking the little dock that I had. In the original photo, it was actually a bridge, but this will do for this one. And you'll notice that I've immediately gone for the spruce instead of the oak as my first choice. You're going to notice a lot of the things that I've been
You play with that sword.
teaching you on this channel shine through in this video. Now, I wanted to keep the character of my original build, but I couldn't improve it without moving away from that very box-like shape. Everything was mega square, even the fence around it. So I'm going to try and keep that rectangular shape for the buildings, but at the same time, I want to give it a little more curvature and a bit more shape. And counting the blocks on my original screenshot, I tried to make everything I built exactly the same size and dimensions as the original, although that's pretty difficult because of the angle that the picture was at. You'll note.
Yes, I love ads. Oh yeah, Mr. Krabs.
Notice that I've actually gone for a framework, which is pretty standard for any of my buildings these days, and I didn't do that in the original. It was just a pure and simple box with a roof. And one of the most interesting things about my original build is that my roof wasn't centered. There was one block of the wall that was flat, and it looked so odd. So I've created this overhang on the side of this house to try and match that very weird feature that I'm not entirely sure was intentional. Maybe I just messed up. Either way, it was a defining feature for that original house. You'll see that I'm changing spruce on the roof to be dark oak. That's because I actually made the same mistake I made 6 years ago when I started building this. I made the roof the same color and block as the walls. That means there's no distinguishing the two of them. And having a barrier, even if it's just a darker shade of brown, really helps give the house a bit more character. If you remember back to the original design, there was a layer of slabs that went round the house. Now, the me 6 years ago probably thought that was detail, and I'm not going to do that on this one. However, I will leave a cobblestone foundation on the side where it's slightly lower as a bit of a tribute to that very nice design detail. For the roof, I'm going for something that resembles the original design, but of
What is
course
this?
I need to add a bit
Dirt?
more
I don't
shape
want
to
that.
it. Just having that cone-like roof is
There's a
very
wolf around
arbitrary.
here somewhere.
So having this intricate entrance
no, there's not.
with the slabs on top will give it a bit more shape, and we'll come back to the roof as I think it's the last thing that I'm going to add. At the back, I wanted to have something a little bit interesting. This detail didn't exist, so it's just me adding stuff to kind of fill the space. So I added a little bit of a fake blacksmith out here. It's a nice touch, and it's got a cobblestone furnace type thing going on with some very simple window designs accompanying it. I made sure that the windows were different heights because it kind of went with the whole rustic feel that this house has got going on. In the original design, this side was just a
You
blank
went
wall
to the
with a
report
door,
button.
So I kind of wanted to make that improved. There's a big door now, at least 3 blocks wide, and it's got a bit of detail to it, with a couple of windows each side. On the original, there was just glass thrown in wherever I could put it. Now this is what it looks like when I don't know what I'm doing yet. I fly around and just look at the build for ages until I work it out. I decided to add a bit of a balcony and a side entrance. Remember, I wanted to keep that rectangular shape as a base, and I added those overhangs to try and give it a little extra shape.
I love the look of
For
the
roof,
dirt.
which we're finally getting to now, I decided to go with my favourite block stained clay with a mix of two different browns. That gave it an extra layer of contrast with the other blocks that I've got going on. This is a fantastic palette. The dark oak, the spruce, and the stained clays, mixed in with some stone and a bit of grass for decoration. So there's only one thing left to do on
Well, the wood's gonna look nice with the floor.
We've done this loads of times on the channel because we love rustic houses here and have some smoke coming out of the chimney in the form of cobwebs. This is pretty much what I imagined it back in the day, but this is all of the techniques that I've learned over the years to be able to transform a rectangular box into what that is now. You have to remember though, most of these blocks didn't exist back then. We're talking 6 years ago, you were lucky to have wood. None of these colours existed. Having a palette was incredibly difficult. So we're now going to move on to the second bit, which is the lighthouse. And this posed a lot of problems for me. One of which was I don't want to lose the original feel of my lighthouse that I made 6 years ago. However, lighthouses are circular, so making something square is just a no-go zone for me. I decided to add a big stone plinth to put everything on. That would give the lighthouse a bit of context and some rise, enough to make it stand out amongst my shack. I've still got the overhang, which I've planned for with my 2 pillars there, but the actual lighthouse itself, I had to
I thought you were being
make
serious.
Now back in the day, I'm pretty sure I didn't even think of making it circular. I just wanted a lighthouse and I wanted it quickly. But I'm going to try and meet...
Ma'am? Be right back.